It's a sad, sorry state of affairs at the IRS right now, folks. And here's the issue we're seeing. We are seeing the IRS taking the same collections activity that they've always taken, levies, liens, etc., but because now they're understaffed, when it comes to actually interfacing with taxpayers and their representatives to get levies removed, right, to deal with liens and other things, it's just taking so much longer now. Okay? So, kind of at the beginning of the year when we were talking about what's Trump going to do to the IRS, some people were saying, well, there's going to be, probably less collections activity because there's less people. It's not true. There's still a heck of a lot of collections activity, but with less people to work the cases, with the end result being stuff like this from Plastic Repeat 6961, who says, for 2 months, we have called, emailed, and faxed my revenue officer. We have reached out to Taz, taxpayer advocate, I think is what she's saying. I've reached out to the congressman. We've asked for a supervisor. He flat out refuses. We've asked for him to be replaced by filling out forms for that. His only been response has been to place liens on me without notice. Well, the IRS actually doesn't give you notice before it files notice of federal tax lien. It's statutorily required to give you notice before it takes levy action, except in certain cases. But with a lien, you don't get the notice until after the IRS has filed the lien. I feel harassed at this point. I'm at my wit's end, and I have no idea how to handle this. We have questions. There are things that are incorrect. My congressman was able to get them to fix one of my issues. Great. I mean, when all the congressperson is going to do is usually just do a TAS request, and they're not going to do what their staff person is. It's going to do a taxpayer advocate request. And again, the TAS person, they're not going to like go to bat for you like a representative will. Their only job is to really, in these cases, to make sure that whoever's working your case in collections, like the RO, for example, is doing their job. So it sounds like they kind of help with that, but not fully. So it says that saved me 50 grand, which is great. It doesn't really elaborate on how they saved them 50 grand, but okay. But it's still known that the IRS can touch my file as long as this RO has it open. That's true. If the case is with a revenue officer, you can't work it in ACS just by calling IRS collections over the phone and with whoever picks up the phone. If it's with the RO, it has to be worked by the RO. 2 months of phone calls, emails, and faxes have been ignored. His only response is to put a lien on me. I have no idea what else to do at this point. So this is a situation where, okay, we know that the RO is not off the case and the RO hasn't been fired or laid off or something because the RO has clearly just slapped him with an NFTL, notice of federal tax lien. We also presumably know that this hasn't been transferred to criminal investigation, right? Because of the lien thing. Okay. So it seems the RO is still on the case, but I'm guessing the RO is just way overworked now. It's possible that some of their peers maybe took the buyout offer or something like this, or they're a probationary employee who is no longer with the IRS, and so now they just have a ton of cases dumped on them. It could be overwork here. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but we're definitely seeing that as we're working with ROs. So what should one do? If the notice of federal tax lien was just filed and you received the notice that the IRS filed the notice of federal tax lien, you should request a CDP hearing. Okay, for the years in question, and then once you get a CDP hearing, you get to sort things out with an appeals officer, right? When you file for the CDP hearing 12153, you have to wait, I think right now, maybe a couple months, right? About 60 days, I think is what my staff is telling me. You'll get a notice in the mail saying, hey, here's your hearing date and time. If you need to reschedule, call us. If you want to confirm, call us. And you should be able to talk to somebody there who's maybe a bit more competent and or available than your revenue officer. Okay. Now, it does sound like you've done something appropriate in that you did ask for the supervisor. You say he flat out refuses. If that's your RO refusing to give you his manager's information, that's bad news. Okay. Whenever we learn that our client has a revenue officer, we get the RO's name, their ID number, their phone number, their fax number, and their manager's name, ID number, phone number, fax number. If he's not giving it to you, you can email IRS stakeholder liaison, and this has been a real help for us. And let me pull it up here. Right, so here's just an example here. I emailed a stakeholder liaison email address, and I'll show you how to get these email addresses in a second. Could you please provide me with this RO with the ID numbers, manager's name, and phone number? Boom. Boom. Right? I got, here's the RO, here's the manager's name and contact info. Okay. How do you know the email? Okay, so it depends what state, what state you're in. Okay. You can go to this IRS, you can see the website up here, or you can just Google IRS stakeholder liaison contacts, and this page should pop up in Google. You look for the state, and this is the state that the revenue officer is in, right? And then it tells you the email address to email there. Okay. So, because from experience, we know that ROs can seriously ghost, right? You want to have that manager's info, right? You want to, if the RO is being unresponsive, reach out to the manager, and they're supposed to get back to you. Have a manager conference with them. If the manager conference doesn't work, you can do cap appeal. But at this point, right, you have CDP rights because of the notice of federal tax lien, right? Now, remember, with the CDP hearing, you got to file that within 30 days. Okay, so get on that if you haven't gotten on that yet. Just to kind of recap, it seems that you've gone down the congressperson taxpayer advocate route, and that kind of helped a bit, but not for the whole thing. Doesn't sound like cap appeal is appropriate right now, this stage in the game. It sounds like that CDP hearing is maybe your silver lining here to argue your case, or have your tax professional argue your case before somebody who's available for you, right? You have a scheduled hearing time, and who knows what they're doing. So I hope this works out for you. And I know exactly how you feel, because I and my staff have been and are in this same situation for many of our cases right now. And that's just kind of a repercussion of what's going on with the IRS this year, staffing wise, right? They're collecting as much as ever, but with fewer people. So, folks, if you owe the IRS or your state at least $10,000 in back taxes, you qualify for a free consultation with us here at Choice Tax Relief. Give us a call, 866-8000-TAX. That's 866-8000-829. Or you can go to choicetaxrelief.com, fill out the form on the website. We will reach out to you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.